Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Afro Swing FX. Today being the 10th of April 2024, I'll be doing an update of Bitcoin, gold, silver, and also the US indices. Why am I doing an update of these instruments? Is because we have seen them form all-time highs, and usually I advise people to exercise caution whenever an instrument forms an all-time high or an all-time low. Why should you exercise caution? Because a reversal is usually in the horizon, and nobody will tell you when the reversal is happening. So I'll start with Bitcoin. That is what we are seeing on my screen. I've already done the analysis on Bitcoin, so I can find a new. Let me just find a new chart. BTC USD. So we'll start on the monthly time frame. Of course, we are seeing this is a bullish trend. That is what we are seeing on the monthly time frame. But I want us to pay attention to this breakout structure on the monthly time frame. So this was a breakout structure on the monthly time frame, and we have unmitigated demand sitting on this level here. So this is unmitigated demand, and we also have a flip zone here. We also have a flip zone here. But at the same time, we have a lot of imbalance and disequilibrium. This entire section, because you're seeing we had a lot of buying pressure with no corresponding selling pressure. So for markets to be efficient, for every seller we must have a buyer, for every buyer we must have a seller, we must have counterparties. So we had extreme buy orders up here. So what we are anticipating is we are likely to have a correction down to either the flip zone or maybe even further down to the unmitigated zone of 16,000. So we are waiting to see what price will do in the on the 4-hour time frame. The price has indicated there's a shift in order flow, but we don't have a shift in market structure. So my long-term Bitcoin projection is that we are likely to see the price come down to the 28,000 price level. The next item would be gold XAU USD. Let us look at gold and see what is happening. So on the monthly, I'll limit my analysis to the monthly time frame. I'll just limit my analysis to the monthly time frame. So we have this first break of structure on the monthly time frame, and then we have another break of structure here on the monthly time frame. So what is important to note is that this second break of structure here, we have the demand zone. We have the demand zone seated here and mitigated demand. The price has not come back to this demand zone, and then we have a lot of disequilibrium and imbalance. We have excessive buying pressure with no corresponding sellers in the market. So what we are expecting also for gold is that the price will do something similar before we get a breakout either in the upside or in the downside. So presently nobody knows how far gold will go, but what I know is that in the near term, in the next couple of weeks, we're likely to see gold retracing back to the 1900 or the 2000 price levels. The next item I'll also look at is silver. I am focusing on these items because we are seeing them forming all-time highs, but for silver, I don't think it has formed an all-time high. Silver is correctly valued because we are seeing price is settling within a supply zone. Price is settling within a supply zone, but at the same time, we also notice that on the downside, the demand has been mitigated. This demand zone has been properly mitigated. This demand zone is okay, but you also notice that in fact, let's use this section to look at this segment here. This was extreme buying pressure, and the extreme buying pressure was followed by a correction where sellers got into the market and then buyers took control later on. So what we are seeing is that we have additional buying pressure here. We have this additional buying pressure here. And we don't have corresponding selling pressure. So what is likely to happen? We'll see sellers come into the market in the near future. What else are we seeing that is forming an all-time high? US 30. US 30 has formed an all-time high. Actually formed an all-time high. This is not the first time it has formed this. So let me just remove the drawings. So you'll see this is the demand zone that was already mitigated. So the market structure down here is very efficient. But if you look at it up here, we have a break of structure on the monthly, but we have a flip zone here that sponsored this break. So this is a very powerful zone. I expect price to come back to the 34,000 price handle. And I'm using the monthly chart. So if you go down to the weekly and the daily, you are likely to refine your analysis even further. But what we are likely to see is that once market starts shifting in market structure and order flow, we will see US 30 collapse from 38 to around 34,000. But of course, exercise caution as you're trading this. It can make you a lot of money, but can also blow your account. The next is US 100. We'll also look at US 100 formed an all-time high. Formed an all-time high. And you will see that there's a break of structure here. Break of structure on the monthly. We have our demand zone seated down here. And surprisingly, there's also liquidity seated in this demand zone. I will not demonstrate that today, but this demand zone is unmitigated. At the same time, we also have a flip zone here. We have a flip zone, and this flip zone has also a fresh order block within it. So the price is expected to come down to around 15,350. Once we have shift in market structure and shift in order flow and confirm the bearish market structure, we will be selling targeting the 15,350 price candle. So this is just my update on instruments that form all-time highs. Be very, very careful when you're trading them. And you have to ask yourself, as much as they keep rising, how far will they go? Who knows the limit? And you find that banks or large financial institutions tend to have an idea when they are likely to exit or enter a market. So you'd rather trade cautiously so that they don't catch you on the wrong side. Why am I saying this? If I look at Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, let me use a clean chart. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. So if you look at the Canadian dollar and Swiss franc, you will see that markets were trending downwards, but after forming a low, markets are in a correction. They are in a correction. What that means is that every time we have an excessive move in one direction, we must have a corresponding corrective move in the opposite direction. So if there's excessive selling pressure, like for Canadian Swiss franc on the monthly, if there's excessive selling pressure, and you see on the monthly we have a lot of unmitigated zones at the 0.71 price handle, you are likely to see price recover for the remainder of 2024, just recovering and pushing higher. So that is the same concept I expect on gold, Bitcoin, US 30 and US 100. So as you trade cautiously. As always, this is Afro Swing FX. Do like my content, and also if it's on YouTube, subscribe. If it's on TikTok, you can also like and comment. Thank you very much. I wish you a successful trading season.